Start about 5 minutes. About 5 minutes. Like for record.
So many questions open.
Too many open. That last one.
Where? But you had so many questions for him.
Everybody meeting, 22. Gonna call the roll, see if we can have more. Brenda, call the roll, please.
Franklin,
President.
Cotton,
Present.
House. Kraft.
Present.
Lawrence. Becker. Fleming. Painter,
Here.
Mallory. Knuckles,
Virtually here.
Todd,
Here. Six, that is not a quorum. We cannot, as vice council, we cannot officially conduct this time. That's why we're making a decision. We have public hearings tonight, cannot do that business. Is there anything that we can eliminate? You can see it. People information. Yep.
Can't take extra action. So you can hear speakers on any subject tonight, hear that, and discuss it in our history.
So our plan is was I hopefully that people. Yep, right. And make comments on them, that deal with stuff, I. Make comments.
You can have a discussion about it, yeah.
Yeah. But what we don't, we can't vote. That's. It has to be formulated with, to a public hearing.
Correct. You can talk.
That is fine, but I'm not sure why, as soon as it stopped. So we cannot approve minutes, cannot elect, not the public hearing. We're trying to reschedule all that next week. Well, let's go to the report. No. All right. Anything quickly for there? I didn't hear. Bye. Yeah. I couldn't hear you going from the other things. We'll love to do it.
Just, I mean, a lot of what I've got is definitely something. Liberty Trailer Park, didn't get the owners. They have to stay in contact with us. try to work with Fairmount, or we'll come up with a commercial septic system, like just about there. They do plan on the model, which will come in. So far, so good. They're staying in touch with us. That's what's going on. Yeah, maybe you update, have a chance, opportunity to talk to Mr. Puckett. Further discussions on that. Okay, let's talk about permits, schedule some inspection. So we're waiting on him to come back. Get all that set up. One of the things I've sent out this past month, included the area plan commission, just so you guys are aware. That should probably be still over here. So they're aware of it. They are building a horse track out there by that. They have been working with the drainage board, on what they're doing. DNR went out there and got involved in most of the Connex spots installed. Set you guys patience for kind of what's going on. Like I said, DNR contacted our office. I got with the drainage board, and they invested in DNR. They have actually, the project manager on that has gotten with IDEM. So DNR is waiting on the plan, the contractor from IDEM to get. They can make it. Just for this guy, it got big enough. We talked about the slaughterhouse. Dying for the guys to grant. He did contact us as far as getting a permit to begin construction on the south side of that building. It's also looking at temporary carport east side coverage barrels. Company, he's got a preacher truck coming in, western temporary village. We get some information on permitting. That's just up to date on that. As we just saw with the BZA, and the original sign ordinance. I had originally brought that before you guys in October 2021. Solar hit in November 2021. We had a situation right at the that table. Demolition report. Full speak on that.
Okay, so with the storm and everything, slow down on the demos. We got 4 down this year, with the last one being on, near Upland. We came into a situation with Upland's bank. We were supposed to start tomorrow. We did not get the state approval. When talking to the individuals that were going to start on it, they were not informed that tomorrow was our start date to begin with. I've spoke with them, we've made a plan, we've moved it to the 24th and the 25th for the road closure. They're gonna start the demolition the week of the 21st, I believe it's President's Day, so we won't be in office, but they're staging that Monday. They'll start working on the 22nd and the 23rd, they're gonna do hand demolitions, which is basically, they're wanting to divide the bank from the actual building. So they're gonna do that by hand first. And that's their whole plan. Once they take the 2 days to get that separated or removed away from that building, then they're gonna come in with the machinery and demolish it, the rest of it.
Just to clarify what she's talking about, are the buildings that are next to and partially connected to.
Yeah.
So they're actually going to the proper building before they tear into the 2-story older building where the roof, both roofs are on the
Ground
ground
floor.
floor.
Yeah,
So that's what you wondering, we're talking.
I apologize. I know what I'm talking about. Half the time I forget, other people don't realize where I'm at. As far as that, we are working to get a couple more contracts signed. One is on 16th Street in Marion. We're working with that individual. He had a few questions that Ryan and I discussed, and we got to get back with him. It's more due to the process and stuff that we're trying to get him to understand. Another one is the individual from Lincoln Boulevard in Marion. She finally did get a hold of me, and again, she's a little concerned about some of the things, but I think she's working on getting it notarized and sent back to me.
How many different contracts?
Currently have 10, I believe.
So that's something we talked about, and the guys approved that it's really worked out. Saved us 3 to 6 months of court time to get these demolitions.
Out of the ones that we've gotten down so far, 3 of them were contracts. Only 1 was court ordered. So, I'm working with Kyle to get 4 more into the system for basically court ordered demolitions. I just got word from him today that I can finally submit them. The concern was whether or not those individuals could fall underneath Kyle or not, and we finally got that done with. With the Weaver one, we should be set to go. I believe their 30 days was up. I think we can start on it as soon as we can get the manpower to do so. Right now, we're waiting for the equipment to get back to us. Yeah, yeah. So as soon as we get back with those guys, David White and all them, then we can finally get a start date on that, and I will make sure you guys know first. Not a problem. As far as that, we've got well over 100 cases. We could be more as soon as I can get out and check on all the complaints, because a lot of those complaints, they've passed their 2 weeks that I just need to get cases started in through the system. Other than that, I think with Grace's help, it's the reason why I was able to catch up on a lot of our stuff with the dental contracts, with the court orders and everything like that. It's been a blessing to have her. Other than that, I think that's it. That was the major.
So if Grace, you don't know, part-time code enforcement secretary, the council allowed us in the last year. Starting at the end of September, and the more she gets trained, the more she gets. Yeah, that's ball starting to roll.
How's our mind holding up?
As of yesterday, our unsafe structure fund, with the $50,000 we got as an issue fund, sets at $88,006. So again, if you'll remember last year, we were given $70,000 by the county council and unsafe structures, and we barely this. We were able to get 9 structures down last year, which is more structures than planned history. We got, again, $88,000. Nicole has, we'll get this out to you, but right there is kind of her color coding. What's happening for she used to stuff. We can start.
The highway department.
They are. Yeah, it's basically volunteer. Building we were taking down from 25,000. We, the council, the highway department, it's been a great partnership.
They're only working so many months for us.
Right.
So,
Austin.
and of course, even though right now they're off season, snow and everything, that's why they had to pause on the next session, so.
The last thing I've got, again, this is just a reminder. We've got solar, we're trying to get it to public hearing and move forward. Just a reminder of what's happening. We have got comprehensive plan. Our comprehensive plan was created in 1997. And in that plan, it says that we will update every 5 years. It has not been touched. Trying to everyone zoning ordinance, talk about it. Go through it. Current adoption is not adopted by the state. We've got to get through all of that. We've got to get the zoning laws. Times last year, yeah, had to do, or even had to do a rezoning. And every, so we get into some rules of procedure, which BZA is starting on, where the planning commission have data at least defined. Got to get the building structure adopted, so that the BZA can start taking some of these cases. Finding a lot of the paperwork in the office. Other things I went upon this year is office software, which again is that's software in 1997. I've got a good 3+ years work. When we get done with solar, Denver, you know, we're doing an ordinance. Pretty good chance within the next year. I'm just bringing this to you to understand what we're kind of dealing with. And got a lot of stuff. I just wanted to bring that, obviously, forward right now. But just be aware of it. That's fine. So, again, at this point, we said there's 6 members, and we should have 13.
I tell you.
Let's find out. I know budget years coming.
We won't see, we've got, well, you're gonna make me do our year.
I just know when they start setting their budget up. That's about,
I mean, obviously, we went through 15 years ago, we had 12. Yeah, 4 full-time people. So, I mean, that's a lot of it, but even with that said, you know, this year, the area plan has been huge. We had 9 demolitions, which is the most. 2,896 building inspection. Inspection we've ever done on record. We added the staff position for the first time in 2000. We did 890 permits. This year was the second most. Goes what we need. We were able to get a full-time building inspector for the first time. We were able to get the code enforcement truck. We were able to get the code enforcement tablet for work in the field. And just to add to another accomplishment, we 3-month probationary permit. You know, a lot of the demolitions we started off with were cases from 2012, 2000. These cases just months make progress. We'll give you another. Then the demolition. So I mean, you know, area planning. Really council's given us almost. Oh, they'll hear from me. Discuss the budgets.
All right, thank you, Brian. All right, so we could go on to the formal one. People have copies, draft 5 copies that they bring. Bring, and if we do go through that, I guess, Ryan, I don't know if you want to explain the biggest change. Because the direction of draft 5 is, well, there's quite a few different things that. So Kyle, my intention tonight will have a full form. Hopefully they can go through some of the outstanding issues. Get the final draft to get a public hearing next. Are we even able to do that?
Go.
Spend
Public hearing next month.
Well, I mean, if we get to the point where we get a final draft. Because the way I see it, we're putting a lot, so we started out with draft 4, which was basically coming out of the commissioner's summit. They gave us direction on what they felt would be a decent ordinance. Then we've added some stuff, actually quite a bit of stuff, some good. I think personally, some maybe too tight, but that's what's been gathered and suggested at the end there. So we can embellish it and put as much in there as we want, but once it gets to the point where we have a public hearing, we make a decision, favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation, we go to the county commissioner. They're gonna make changes. We know they're gonna make changes. So we could go on months fine tuning this thing. And have it all come back, change substantially. And so I wouldn't say we're spinning our wheels, because I think we're making a good faith effort to try to get it. Yeah. Because that's their ability. Oh, I think they will. Oh, I think they will.
Feeling like,
So, yeah,
stuff might hurt. They're not satisfied with a lot of stuff. We're putting. I think they're gonna make a change.
so that's why I say if we get all the bells and whistles, for lack of better description, into it, advertise, send it up to them, they'll make changes. From my understanding, Kyle, they will send it back to us, what they like.
Correct. If they modify.
If we modify,
They send it back with the reasons. for it, accept or reject. Accept.
back to them and they can accept it anyway.
Or final say.
So that's, I mean, I think that maybe we need to get something in writing, publish the hearing, find out what we got. Or, for lack of. Because we could be putting all these conditions in this, we're gonna strike all that out, and here we're gonna putting all this effort into it. Now, I will say, and I don't know, if they do review, I don't know, like, tonight, they do review all these and input. And plus there'll be a public hearing that what kind of input pressure or comments are being made, how much that may sway them and maybe, okay, they can want to do this, but, or, they take some of these recommendations. Or incorporate some with the amount of input that we have had. The only way they can
Three people are
Yeah.
under.
Well,
Over on. But. It is not.
we, if I'm, for some publicity, we are an advisory board to the county commission, right?
We,
advise.
the Marion Planning Commission serves any unincorporated area is one metropolitan.
Not just the commission.
Oh, I go to everybody can just. The commissioners that speak for all unincorporated. Once they adopt, all travel, all town and city, in our jurisdiction. They're gonna be.
Yeah, they'll prove it. After they prove it, then they'll say that. We, they gotta prove.
Then any solar that comes into Van Buren. Or should the state adopt theirs, you'll have the state's. That's the whole point of what we're trying to do.
No, right now it goes through the Board of Zoning Appeals by special exception. Or it can write conditions. It's approved. Not nothing.
All right. Well, I just put that out there, and my thought is, well, we take it, we do draft five, just the way it is, put it out there, have public input, have the commission come back to us, what they like, or. And then. I don't know. Well,
Well, let's. The commission. Yeah. Well, I got.
that's what sounds like my interpretation. Yep. So, for example, let's say the setback, that seems to be one of the hot topics. Right now, we got like 13, 21, or whatever it is. That's kind of, that's not comply with county commission. Why? Because that's not gonna fly.
I mean.
Well, they'll probably, they'll have to tell us why. They're gonna say maybe it's too restrictive or it's way out of bounds compared to the other counties, whatever they come up with, that's their decision.
Then we'll have the right to say, yes or no, we agree with. it. We can send it back to them. They make the final.
The recommending body.
Well,
That's already out.
that's what, yeah.
That
Yeah.
that is literally-
And in all honesty, I think we've been doing a pretty good job, Pat. We, pretty good open meeting, educational thing last Monday, trying to get as much information up, the ones that show up. Although it is all recorded, where you can review it, and for the public, so. I think we've done pretty good due diligence trying to research it. But I keep coming back to, we keep researching. But we're honest, county council really wants. By sending them something and they respond back.
I'd say. Here to me. Area. Here, all. And. Should carry a more weight with 500
Well, I would hope that when they're listening to comments in the public hearing or whatever, they will take that into consideration. They are elected officials. We are having elected those people. That's fine. Hopefully they make their decision.
But the way I felt this should have went, this is my opinion. I know the commission wanted Ryan to start it, but I think it should have been started with Ryan, us, and the public. We come up with a draft, instead of them already coming up with a draft, kind of telling us what we're going to do. Because if you read the way an ordinance will be drawn up, public wants to have a say-so in it. The people inspect it. And when they did it, their draft was already done. We're the ones that bring it to the public.
Well, but area plan had draft one, draft two, draft four, from August 2021, for any suggestions or concerns, correct?
Yeah, to mine. But I mean, if you really look where an ordinance for it's what's really come to us and us looking at public and discuss.
And we're working that.
And they already had a plan.
Well,
And I think that was wrong there. That's where the wrong was went.
Regulator is absolutely correct. Read the area planner's guide.
Yeah.
It says to begin an ordinance by meeting with the public, people who are affected. And you get a citizens committee put together. They tell you what they wanted the ordinance. That wasn't, that should have been done. I didn't know it. I should have. I know it matters. Public is involved from the beginning. It is not to be done behind. It's not to be done without them. It should not have been done with solar companies being involved in solar summit meetings. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. And this ordinance has a lot of problems in it. I said, help us with this. I didn't get any support in that idea, so I did it myself. Hired the law firm back in Boston, Fort Wayne. One of the top men in the state, works there, teaches zoning law, a plan director, commissioner, board member, other lawyer, get continuing credits. He reviewed this ordinance briefly, because I had to go to him to get the property protection plan. Because, but he puts, I don't know how to do it, I don't know how to do it. I can't know, I know it, I don't think you can do it. Oh, go hire somebody to do it. Okay, he did it, he looked at the ordinance, he said, you got a lot of problems. In his report, he said, this process is way too convoluted. Okay, he recommends that we drop the idea, I propose, of having rezoning commissioner review. That would be wrong way to go. He said, you guys need to get together with the commissioner, decide the main topic. Where do you want to put the board of zoning appeals? You want the commission. You want it with the commission, then just do rezoning. You guys do rezoning, you advise the commission, and they will adopt. Then it goes to a development plan. Development plan is passed by the only. Commissioners not involved. Development plan. To go with the BCA, the route is you do not require a rezoning, just for special exception. solar. Major solar project. Establish criteria for approval. Give us 8 criteria for approval. And give a little bit of some discretion to be in deciding. Approve. That's all it's required. He also said it is against the code for the commissioners to recommend the BZA pass or not pass. No one is allowed to influence the decision of the BZA ahead of time. Anybody can come to the public hearing. But nobody go to BZA members. Nobody can see the station, nobody can see. Anyway, he said, decide that decision. Move forward. Really? That is where I think we need to be. He said this, or as it's now, it's not a problem. But he did. Now, 19. Just first. You could, wanted to hire him, come down and go through, fix it, but in the community. I don't know how much time. We may have a lot of time. If they don't take out state law. But if we do, we might not be able to enjoy. But I know that's not a rosy picture. Another alternative would be to adopt Adams County's ordinance, present it similar where we were trying to get as a property value guarantee. It's worked out. That has worked on it. It's on their payroll. It's a possibility. Pretty quick. Hey, that's something.
All right, thank you for doing some independent research there. Wait, I have.
We didn't know what we were doing. None of us has done this. Windmill was done, I don't think it really went anywhere.
We got drops in Benton County, Howard County, or Wayne. So, we dropped with it. They stopped. We stopped right there.
But, I get it. Ask that. We have choice to hire legal help. Right? I think of
I think you're right. But that's your decision. ABC has to decide. You can think about that. Next meeting.
something just there. I mean, we're either gonna do it right or we're gonna do it tip top. We're gonna do it tip top. We might as well join it, not show up. Do you know Kyle, if the commissioner? Whatever they've been done. Okay. Well, what really? Okay. Well, evidently, what is? That's the question I think. Bob, that's right, yeah, compile, allows us to compile over 32 counties, getting averages or input, plus some of the right, plus some of the input that was, the different areas or comments that we rarely have, that will be, have been incorporated in. So
As lawyer, 30 counties. Okay. There's nothing in there that was an original thought.
So who actually, who all's talking? I'm not talking to anyone directly as far as the process. I get mine through Ryan, because we think that.
They haven't really talked about, we talked about solar today. It was a group of people who showed up, located about solar today. I believe what the ordinance and the way it went, they put it together, they went to a Commissioner Solar Summit meeting to introduce it to the public first. And then the Solar Summit meeting was in October. And then introduction to the public. And then it was introduced to the plan. But it was given to the area plan commission every draft. August.
Somehow.
Or, you know, again, we all had. Oh,
Somehow. Oh. But the commission. How do they know? Well, they don't. That's it. I mean, this is not hidden. I mean, it's emailed out.
Yeah, but like he said, what Chuck's trying to
Well,
say,
yeah.
we could be dragging this out for months. And like Chuck's trying to say, physical commissioner, you've already seen what they sent to them. You know they're gonna pick at it. And it's gonna come back to it. And if we send back and say, no, this want, they can make all the changes they want. That's what I've been saying. We can give them all the suggestions we want, but they can make all the changes. That's why I already told the public, you have to go to commissioners too, and tell you how you're. Because they're put the listen up, that don't mean they do. And we got somebody, Ron Mountain, who's commissioner on the board. And this one who's not here. And we've not heard his opinion. But we'll hear it when it comes to the final draft. Why ain't he giving us an idea of what they're feeling? Because we have nothing but their draft they sent to us. I feel like it was out of order, because they should have brought it to the public and us first, and we gave it.
I'm sorry, folks, I can't just sit and not talk. Ed, I appreciate the help, or at least what you've done in terms of investigating. And I'm Andy Ellis. I'm from Fairmount, and I've been here before. But what I wanted I've heard a lot of the dialogue here over past few weeks, months, I guess. And I guess, first of all, the fact that the draft is not correct legally should not come as a surprise to anybody, right? So, I mean, I've worked with a lot of smart people in the past, smarter than myself, and what they've always told me is hope is not a plan. So if you're hoping for the best, you're not planning for the best. So when you put together something with the best of intentions, there's no question in my mind, based on the dialogue I've seen in here, and the integrity of the folks that I've been seeing and witnessing and talking to, that they have put their best foot forward to try to put something out there prior to something being shoved down our throat. That's the way I'm interpreting this. With that being said, none of it's are legal stuff. I'm an engineer by trade, worked as an engineer for a long time, did a lot of planning for a long time, but I haven't done solar farms. And nobody else here has either, probably. And I think the futility that I'm seeing here is concerning to everybody sitting at every single table. Because what they're doing is we're saying, hey, we've listened to the people that have shown up, that have known them. And I'm sure that you could get 10 times as many people if they knew that you were meeting tonight. But the truth of the matter is, there's only a few of us that really even know that they're meeting tonight. And so where we're at is, we've got these folks here that are genuinely concerned about what's going to happen to the community, because it's the community. I'm one of them. You folks are too. So putting all this together, knowing that there's holes, flaws, concerns that won't hold up, and we're going to send it back to 3 people. It concerns me that we're trying to centralize the decision-making for the whole community with 3 people. I mean, that is not the way the communities are built. I mean, communities are built when communities get together and work together to make decisions that are best for everybody. And not everybody's going to be happy. I get that. But the idea is to try to get a consensus that works for the community. And those 3 people, that the commissioners, they're voted in by the community. So they're supposed to represent us, not the other way around. They're not supposed to be the ones that make the decisions for everybody. I know they're voted in, and maybe they won't be next time, but we don't have that long to make that kind of call. It makes total sense to me that we get the Adams County draft is probably a good starting point. If we're concerned about time, which I think we are. But I think getting legal advice is critical. Otherwise, your concern, Rex, is that they're just going to take it, and no matter what we send to them, they're just going to red ink it.
They still got to find a thing. And all money you won't do, the 3 people.
That's what I said to the get-go. They have, sometimes when stuff is sent to us, sometimes I'm like, we're taking the blood in at the bill. We got to listen to the public, and this is what our job is. And then they can just rip it apart like no tomorrow.
Well, all the more reason to have legal counsel to try to express that concern. What do we do under this circumstance? And make it uncomfortable for them, if nothing else. I mean, and see if there is something that can be done legally to at least make it so that it's not just red ink. I'm hearing what you're saying, because that is true. We don't have to take the legal advice, but going to somebody that's done it before might be a good start. And yeah, we're way down this trail, but I am certain that won't be the first time. And I hear what you're saying. Other people already have it. And I think it still takes a legal person to take that and put it into an actual ordinance that will hold up. Just because if I understand it correctly, Ryan, folks went and looked at all these different communities around us and tried to pick out what was the best that they found and tried to make it applicable to our community. And that makes sense.
The original template was down the middle of the road.
Yeah, and so.
We found it on down.
So taking that and piecing it together still leaves legal holes in it. That if it comes right down to it, I believe Ed's right, that we could be picked apart by a lawyer someplace with somebody with big pockets. So I guess I'm here to support. I do believe that the BZA, the zoning board does zoning for the community for a reason. This is just another place that needs to be zoned. So to me, that totally makes sense that the BZA needs to be involved in this process. It's a zoning situation. I mean, I don't know how you can go past that. So it has to be documented that way. And then the lawyer can give us good guidance on how we best do that. How do we make sure that that's written in there? It's indisputable. It can't be knocked down. Nobody can go around it. And then they can write in whatever they want to. If the BZA don't zone it, they don't go there. They got to give a special exception. And that shouldn't be like a blacklist, like Grant County doesn't want anybody here. But what it should say is there are appropriate locations for things like that to be. It shouldn't be just anywhere you want to put it, just because this is a great location for them, that's convenient for them. So that's the reason why we have zoning. I mean, what if we decided that we were going to have a chemical industry in the downtown area? I think it takes zoning to do it, doesn't it? Well, it wasn't because of that.
Can I ask?
Alright.
Yeah, how's that? Why did Mark Clarkson tell us that they were going to need a lawyer this time? The way I understood it, correct me if I'm wrong, they were, they could bypass the BCA. That's alarming to me. I mean, they're meeting with a lawyer, to find out if you guys are aware of that. But they were meeting with a lawyer this afternoon, they could bypass the BCA. I find that a red flag. Wait, very. And it's like Ed said, it's got to go through the BZA. So why are they aggressively trying not to move? That question asked the commission at this point. I don't know. But that's very questionable to me, alarming. So, if I do.
Yeah, it's very suspicious.
My opinion of it is, the reason they want it, where they can have control.
Well, that's what.
That's the way.
Well, that's certainly the way it's
Way
done.
I- Day one, and that's always been my agreement.
But Ed pointed out, and you heard him, you know, small that thing. And you gotta go through the BZA. Why do we have a BZA to begin with, right? So we need to follow procedures, protocols. We need to help these commissioners accountable. And there's results to election. If they don't want to follow those guidelines, then it's time to go out.
The three commissioners that question answer right now. Right now. I hope that we do that. I mean, if they're trying to eliminate every plant that people think, I mean, there's something very corrupt. And I'll tell you what.
I don't know if they're trying to. I get that. But BZA is why they're trying to eliminate that. That's my question.
Reason they're wanting to go that way, like I said, they want control, because usually what we do, we give you favorable or not favorable, or no recommendation involved.
Right.
So it's not like that's vote, it's just saying, here's what we said. But if it goes through the BZA, they know they cannot change our decision, because the way the state sets up BZA, our season is final. Unless you want to take us to court, and then we'll sell it in court. But through them, see, you're getting them to make the final decision.
I think you could do some homework and watch what's going on in Delaware County. Yep, they are going to put themselves in.
The overwhelming majority of counties in this state use BZA to decide
That's what I'm saying. Everybody. Three guys, commissioners, could never be allowed, 30,000 people here and overrule our order. I mean, they're already, like you said, red flag up. You might, but maybe they're gonna hire an attorney to see if they can overrule limiting. Something very corrupt going on in Grant County right now, tell you all. And something needs to be done. I mean, this is our county. It's not Free Commissioners County. Don't own Grant County. And this is BS. And it's time for people to get active and stop.
Byron, could I suggest that you are an appointee of the county commissioner?
Yeah, I know that. I won't be for a while.
Good question.
That doesn't mean I have to bow to their.
I was just saying. If you represent them, maybe.
I'm also appointed by the county commissioner. They may have assumed wrong, but I assumed they appointed me because they wanted me to use bottom line and make the best decisions they could for this county. They reappointed me knowing what I've done. I don't think they're going to just to check with them every month and see how they want us to vote. I think they put you here because you've got the qualities and the qualifications to do this job. I think we got to do it. I understand. Doesn't always have to be the BC. Yeah. You guys want to go together? I'll understand that too. Knowing that you will develop. A little bit of check and balance.
And that, I would have to, because that did put bottom line, that was one of the options that, because, once again, going back, one problem that I personally have, like, there is no representation on that board from the
Well, how many large farms?
I represent Joe in the bar, if they don't like me, my mayor can hand me a letter and tell me my service for this two board is done. So where did he say Joe's gonna have representation? If they think I'm not, they can call me and talk to me. My county council talks to me, and my mayor talks to me.
officials on that board. We don't have representation from like. I think,
Of course,
Well, that-
they have representation from every town.
no, but it's kind of excluded, which.
No, you're
They-
not. Yeah, think about this, putting in this ordinance, we have a mile setback in there right now. Protect the town.
Right.
We're going to make it 2 miles, you can make it 2 miles. That would protect the town. You're drawing the line in the county, around the town to protect the town. That's what you're doing, because that's county area. Now, Any town member can come to the BZA area. But not, not shunning anyone. Any town council can come. If they show up, it's a acre total farm, they go into a town. Town's not so much at risk. I'm just not seeing that as a problem for the town. Small solar might go into.
Who set up, solar panels?
We organized and we got the company coming and do it,
The education, they travel the state. I think last year they were in Huntington University, Ball State, Purdue. A lot of us, several of us said on most of what they do is like an all day.
I just find it ironic that they're.
Well, their office is based out of Huntington. I mean, their home is North Carolina, but they've got an office.
We've got FedEx, Solar, it's based on. That's watching.
I understand that they're probably funded by the full people, and they're gonna bring it to their favor, but, but they try to be impartial and give the facts of what they see, or what it can benefit to a community. So there's the other side there, that they're trying to present. Which
They
we not really heard from that side enough.
I called them. So that it was me who called them and said, hey, you think you could do something? Yeah, I mean, that wasn't.
I was just curious, I mean.
No, there's a handful of them where we end up, and where to go.
Here's what I stand. What Ed has said. I really need to finding out that we're all past back. If we can't get this straightened out and do it right, why is that here to do ordinance by 3 weeks? If it's gonna go that way, I mean, that is so corrupt. If you've got three commissioners that's gonna take and tell 50,000 people out here where we're gonna put, where we can put solar farms next to your house, your farm, or what, that needs to be stopped, and stopped now. And I hope all three of them are listening, or they will hear. Because I'll tell you what, these people in Grant County are not going to let this happen. There's a way to do it right and honorable. And if we got three commissioners that's gonna strike everything out, Grant County is gonna be one of the most corrupt places in it. Any day that they should know. They're worried about July. But it's any day now, they're gonna know July is gone, because if you understand our legislation, I sit on the board for volunteer fire. And our legislation board, if we have a copy. And by a certain time here in February, I think it's any day now. If certain things ain't out on the floor a certain way, it's dead. They cannot bring it up unless they do one of their dirty deals down there, where they attach it to something else and it pops out. They have certain times to bring certain things out, or they cannot bring no more bill, no outlaw.
SB 411.
Because if it's out there, but it's gotta get through certain committees to a certain point. And if it don't get there by that, it's dead. And the only other way they can bring it up, they find some way to attach something else like they do down every once in a while.
I was on my desktop, I can bring it up right now.
Because that's how they get money sometimes, for projects and different things down there, and you say, how they did it? It was done in the 11th hour, right for the last day. They tapped some other bill, and they got their money, or got what they wanted. Somebody wanted the rest. Or said, got what they want. That's how it works down there. Because I've been working with the IDFA because I'm a district chairman and I go to our meeting.
All right.
Legislation, and it's.
So I don't know, I mean, I think we just need to take a pause. I need to probably talk to a commissioner. So he's gonna understand this, that, hey, want something good out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it, whether it be Ron or somebody on, to be here, that we've gone through how many months, and not really had any insight of why they're thinking of what they're doing now. So we need their guidance as much as they need our guidance.
If they don't think he's meaning great plan that do what's fair, homeowners and the farm, why? I mean, what have they got against homeowners and farmers?
Right now, it's currently with the BZA. Right now, it's currently with the BZA. I think we ought to hear why it needs to change.
The only two options we have is adopt Adams County or turn that back and start scrap that. After you talk to that attorney that you said he has worked with solar.
Worked with Adams County, works with them all year long. Does something with and counties, public teaching. God.
Is he the one that's over in Delaware?
What?
Speak over in Delaware County? That's not
Is that a good attorney? Court, aren't you? And Sue. Yes, he is good. He was used by Madison County as well. But you want to get ordinance with him. And he had.
Do we have any 32 counties, how many are happy with your and what they put over?
Well, ones where solar has come in and circled houses, caused a lot of trouble, lawsuits, property owners against. I'm sure they might be thinking they could have done things different. As the county rewrote their ordinance after. No. Until you actually put one of these huge farms, realize what this is, what it looks like. You don't get it. That's kind
That's right.
It's actually 45 foot.
of.
Here we go.
32 is high.
Risk. The reason, my opinion, why they want to take the PZF, this is my opinion. They take it away from us, then they're gonna make the decision. And I know our county needs money, and every county needs money. The way the economy's been, Grant County, for the last 25 years, look how many factories left. I know. I worked at our plant, and I can see why they're looking at the money side. And they want that money in, so they can make better stuff with this county, but I'm like, I want to make it right the first time. And that way they won't send it back to us and change this, change this. I'm like, Chuck, we could put in bumps on this, and it might be all changed, and that's why it upsets me a lot. We're working here, things to be done, and it's like, why do we even do it?
Yes, we have 2 solar farms already approved by the BZA. We have 2 solar farms already approved by the BZA. Both of them are in location have no complaints. Yes, city outside town, that was where they had it. Over by AEP, that as well. We got complaints.
Around here, start cleaning off the phone. There's a third one coming, gas it, put one in right now.
Where is it?
600 where Gilman's at, in the lumber yard. Go right by Gilman's, and the next slot, to your right. They already started tearing up the ground, so that used to be farmland for work. That's what gas is.
think that's it. You know, we complain, but you can make $500 a day from that. Now, when
No, I don't like farmland, but, and but we can't really stop them. We gotta get business. That's the opportunity.
All right, so,
Yeah. Linda Morgan. I'd probably have a rosy view of things, but we don't know that the commissioners are gonna take this apart. And when you have an issue, if you take the problem and you correctly present the answer, you're more likely to get what you want. But the bottom line is, solar people are gonna still wanna come in the county, and the ordinance needs to be something that will protect everybody in the county, if they come in. Yeah, yeah.
We talk about. So. Over again. Compared. About.
launch with 22. Right. Yeah, I think they created.
We can't lose control of our farm.
I agree.
Improve.
We don't. Really should not- They get. You got it. Hey, go here.
I know that, what I'm saying is, if I sign up 250 acres solar for 30 years.
Well, it's starting here at 0.9.
Yeah, yeah, that, yeah. After that year 49, the 30, and in between, it can be turned over to a utility. And they'll have eminent domain, and then they'll own it all.
Most of these projects sell in a year before they even hit first payoff.
Well, they've already said that.
But, we talk about Gas City, and I don't know, Gas City, what happens, that's not kill the development of that town. Just from 569 Gas City, because I assume one day before I die, that part of Gas City will expand and be filled in through the gap.
It might-
But if you got a school farm there, that's gone. So that gets the development of that town growing, unless Gas City wants it.
I think the only reason gas can put theirs in, a lot of people don't know, all the energy companies went to the state, and that's how they're doing all this project. And then they said, the little municipalities are killing. And this way they said they killed them, so if gas city wants to expand, they can't really expand. I just checked it out. Now, any more people hooking up the gas and electric line like to the new hospital, they're probably gonna have to hook up because the way the rules changed again. So what Gas City's trying to do is, what way we can do to keep our costs down for our citizens in our town. Because when that law went into effect, you know,
But yet they still, they,
didn't,
they don't. It's not. That's what.
get money.
But if they're thinking just about lower your taxes, I don't want my taxes lower. That's the case. I'll say why, because James, it's not in the tax. Tax abated, and once those panels appreciate in 8 years, taxes, what kind of taxes are? And then you're gonna lose appreciation, evaluation of these nice homes out here, farmland and everything. I mean, people need to think, yeah, they hang on.
Biggest problem I have. She said. Just like this company up here. Two projects. Very weird. Why don't? Not. People that come.
Two farmers down in Tipton. I talked to him a couple of years ago. Back one. And the next thing, the economic development, I'm for that. Economic development. So that's. All right. Bring this to a head here, so it sounds like I need to talk to the commission. Or I need to have a powwow and we need to get rid of it. Yeah, it's a great, it's a great. Three guys. Right. Right. And then, well, they're working on, like I said, we've got good ideas that maybe would say, but.
Talk to the commission.
What's that?
Should not go talk to the commission. If This discussion. It could be taken. I absolutely only we're in these states.
Well, I think could talk. Three days.
But if you're gonna.
Oh. I'll leave it on the goats. Trying to get it, hopefully, you know, to sit there at the table with us.
Yes. Should invite. Right.
Like, they're gonna meet with the attorney, see if they can override anything.
That, if I was something. When you said. They were running down a discussion.
So what's going on? I mean, there's something going on. That's not.
Shouldn't be able to watch the commission. Okay. But they've got person. People. The change of itself is trouble.
Is there a house built, I went down to St. House 2 weeks ago,
That, that it's built for that.
Yes, try to change it where it cannot alter that.
Right now, I've seen it adopted, or it was proposed, well, it's already, I believe, it's in the utility.
Well, I thought about public hearings where they can't, amount of people coming to a meeting.
The emergency still on the fourth. The March fourth, I believe.
I've got that in my birthday. I get on. Okay.
I think the emergency.
Sometimes commissioners can't alter how many people come to the meeting. Don't have 200 people. Which could very well happen in this county once people get word of the. That's too late. You know, celebrate.
I would say it again, not good as that, but this is month number 4. Back in the public, we have tried to publish, like before the education workshop, we didn't publish twice. We've been on the radio, we've been in the paper, we've been, it's on our webpage. And I don't, you know,
I know. People will wait till it happens in the back door and then they decide. That's too late.
When you're talking about,
we give them fire, you know, and we get it twice.
you know, the public. is not money, but they're trusting them. They don't know that there's 3 commissioners. But like, and those 3 commissioners need to present themselves front and center to everybody.
But again, remember, we're not even public hearing. We haven't put forth a recommendation. So, you know, how do we know how much they're going to come in?
To me,
I think we've got a lot of people
it
waiting.
looks
for
like
us
so
to
red
get
divided. This first one I just heard, him and Kyle. They said what they said. They don't like what we want now. They want it back in their hand. They're gonna do what they want. Because why would they be talking that way? If I was a citizen, I'm a taxpayer in this county, and I live in this county. Why would somebody ask back? Because I go to my council meeting. Why would they be asking back? Because they don't like what's going on. We're gonna do it our way. That's what that's why I'm thinking. That's my feeling. Because why would they be asking for it back or finding a way to take it away a certain way of our hand? If they're not happy with it. Because if they figure they're gonna wait to the final end, why would they be thinking we could take it away and do certain things? Because they're not. That's telling me they're not happy. But I've been in enough council meetings and county meetings, I can tell. I mean, they're not happy, they want it back in their hands.
Counted 3 people.
Now, remember, the commissioners, not all, largely, they the original people who got together and started putting this together. Led up to the commissioners' goals. That was their introduction to the public. At the point, coming off of that meeting, they, because again, remember, they were handing it to the area plan commission. Area plan, right? I mean, that's just about. Area plan, recall. When we would put the orders in. No, in minutes. It was, we decided. Okay. So the commissioners at part feel like after 4 months of trying, that they handed this to their, and again, following the solar summit, that they handed this to their with some expenses. That's how they felt. that time, we're talking back in 2020. So their hope at that time, they would have it for the area plan. That we review it, we'd have special meetings. We would come back, have a public hearing for it in December, and the commissioners were willing to have a special meeting in the middle of December, to have this grant by the beginning. So that's how they thought after 4 months. That was.
Yeah, but through half that time, Ryan, you was setting it up, getting it. We was not sitting here like this, discussing. So where the commissioner thinks of the project, I think they was out of line because we hadn't had time. And it's like I said earlier tonight. It should have never went to the commissioners first, coming back telling us, this is what we want. Just like Ed said, by law, and by rule, it should come.
We wrote
You wrote it,
it. We wrote it.
and you asked us for some input once in a while, but we never sit there like it where we could totally discuss. It was just email. We should have been sitting down like this and went to public, discussed it, or went to the commission. Then back to the commission after we got done, and we're not done with it yet. They already told us what they want. And by what he's reading right there, we was out of line, and the commission was out of line. Because it should be in a public meeting with us, seeing what the public wants first, and what needs to be in there by law, before the commissioners tell us what to do. We're doing the facts finding, not them to tell us what to do.
They
We're
presented,
supposed to be the facts finder.
they presented it to the public, not to.
They should never did that. We should have been doing that. We should have, and our board should have been discussing before it even got to that point. We should have been discussing it. If you read what it,
Again, I'm telling you, their thoughts are.
but I know what they're
Every
talking about.
draft went to you guys for concerns and inputs. They got to have concerns and inputs back. If you watch the solar, the Mr. Solar Summit meeting, and Ed, tell me if I'm wrong, it was Peachy Keen from the commission.
It was what?
Peachy Keen. It was all for solar, all for what the ordinance was. Everything was positive and fun.
I don't know if I didn't invite them,
It
because it had not been announced. Just again, get wrong. We did not get commitment from the public. And with the commission, that's wrong. Should have started with the public, and they should have been telling us what they want. And then the APC should have acted upon that to develop that. Then take it to the commission.
Solar 101. So already tidied up. Well, that's, if you go back and watch the solar summit, that's what we did. I mean, from beginning to end, here's how we got here. Question. Then we kind of went through the ordinance, but we're still questioning in to get in. And we kind of did the same thing with the first ABCBCA.
We wasn't aware to be, October, first of November.
Yes,
But
but
those meetings are very pending on, since August of
okay, but the BZA is not part of the ordinance. They're not part of the recommending body. The BZA is responsible for an ordinance that is already in place, not the creation of a new ordinance.
We understand that, Ryan. But
So the.
when this ordinance started back in June, May, we should have been having meetings like this, where we discussed and come up with the idea with you, and then took it to commission. All you was doing is sending me emails and said, look at so and see how you like it. Well, that, I'm just looking at stuff, and we're not serious yet. It's just being in draft form. We'll eventually have our normal meeting. We can really talk about it. We can see how you members feel. And it never was. It was done, taken to the commissioner, and the commissioner said, yeah, take it back to APC and tell them this is what we want, to see what they'll do with it.
for you farmers, whoever. Got one of them. Solar installation, third confidence. To read that, not good.
Well,
Back on one thing. Well, I'm gonna state one thing. We can put solar on our houses or whatever, I'm not against that. What I'm against, we get ourselves tied in, and we lose our freedom, farmland. And the government's going to end up. See, it'll probably be after my, but for my kids, grandkids, the farmland, Grant County. We don't do it right. You know, talk to that attorney, or you don't hire in, we reverse this stuff. We've got a big mess. I'm not understanding.
Solar companies, something utility companies, that, the main, that's basically what I'm saying. Got government control at that point.
Yeah, from then on,
So
they got you
you
when
gotta
they
think
want.
about long term.
We've talked about that.
Well, but there, it's a long term, lot of questions down there.
But if
There's no, I mean, let's put it ordinance, say you cannot sell to utility company, that's one thing. I mean. Because that is a concern, right, that they would sell to utility company. They get into eminent domain. But if you put it in the ordinance, I guess you could solve that one.
Eminent domain, we're not into that part. They haven't got their roots established.
If they have a history of selling within a year or two or less.
we can press that.
But the ordinance. Perfect. But you ask that question.
Check it out.
May not.
That
may
is
not-
the law.
No, but that,
What these solar companies don't really. It's our grant county, not theirs. And we're putting an ordinance together. If they come in, we'll protect property value of our home, farmland. These solar companies, pushing hard. Yeah. I mean, it's just getting started. I have a question. Maybe.
yep. I got this. Yeah. That's for. My concern, that I don't hear fighting. Below these panels. What keeps the trees and the weeds? What's the mechanism? And after X number of years, you've got a panel that either isn't. How are you gonna clean that mess up? Whose responsibility? Who's gonna take? There's what? You know, that.
A
lot of those things are addressed with the draft. As far as decommissioning, when it's put in, it's responsible to take it down, and then there's guidelines and making sure there's money there. And vegetation, maintain vegetation.
Who?
It's the company that is running.
So then that farm letting somebody else come on and put chemicals on.
I don't Didn't know what's put in there, because we got, it'd be like native vegetation, low growth. We live in the beginning of
We had a study that I sent out to, came out in a workshop, that it was out of North Carolina State, she had one, Catherine Paul. She forwarded that. PCA. But they said, as far as what they do for weed vegetation is nothing more than like all the
To the park, to the person, rather than to keep them. So what they will not. That's not good. They hardly leave it. So I can. That's not gonna be the case.
But yes, and but they could take 150. If you can believe. I got some.
Byron, you can read that study that North Carolina made us rest on that. Talks about what is recycled doing. Talks about. I didn't get to that. Talks about Hurricane Matthew and Hurricane something else that had come through. One of the items just there. I just, you could read it.
Alright,
Tornado hits that thing, it's a pile of glass. Look at what tornado devastation is in western Kentucky. You seen the picture? Semi trucks coming around. Nothing. All kinds of things.
alright,
Yeah, no, that's.
And that is based on what we discussed here. We've got two problems major. One of them is something that everybody agrees on, right? How do we get that out? The other one, which I think is coming in, watched over a little bit, is it has to be legally viable. So it's actually important that it'll hold water when we have these companies coming to our community. And that's what the ordinance is good. They'll just notify us just based on the legality. So I just think that they're getting I think most people agree, getting some kind of legal document of how they care structure is, so that the ordinance is fine and as a big piece of.
well, what's that? Why? I keep frustrated as much as you are on that.
You understand? You know,
We should get the names out.
Now we call them back and get around to. Take nail down, somewhere to be 3, 4. Lay down and stay out any time.
Right.